What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are kicking it back old school with a good old-fashioned product comparison. Today I'm comparing a couple of foundations from the drugstore that to me seem very similar. And the drugstore has a tendency, especially Maybelline and L'Oreal, to release very similar products around the same time. And I'm pretty sure that L'Oreal and Maybelline are owned by the same parent company. I don't know if L'Oreal's the parent company or if it's Estee Lauder. I'm pretty sure that L'Oreal and Maybelline are under the same umbrella, but it just always seems like whenever one brand comes out with something, the other brand comes out with something very similar very shortly after that. So today we're comparing the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum, which came out around July or August of last year, with the brand new Maybelline Green Edition Superdrop Tinted Oil Foundation. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So I feel like we need to start with the oldest foundation first, and we'll go over the claims of each one, do a little comparison, and all that jazz. Alright, so starting with the L'Oreal True Match Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. I have talked about this before, but we are going to do a little breakdown and just pretend like I haven't talked about it. So this is $19.99 on the Ulta website, and I believe it's like about $15 or so at Walmart and on Amazon. I could be wrong. But this has 14 shades. It doesn't go super light and it doesn't go super dark. I mean, the darkest shade is pretty dark, but it's not super inclusive. It has 1% hyaluronic acid that gives skin a hydrated feel and smooths over time. Instantly, skin looks brighter, even, and feels hydrated. Luminous mineral pigments brighten complexion, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And moving over to the Maybelline Superdrop Tinted Oil Makeup. This one, as it says, is an oil base, and then L'Oreal one is a water base. So it's a hyaluronic acid based product, and this one is I think it's jojoba and marula oil. So this one is $11.99 at Ulta, and I do want to point out that this one has 8 shades versus the L'Oreal having 14. However, the shade range is like a bigger jump in between each shade. So I'm telling you, Maybelline and L'Oreal, I don't understand them, because they have foundation lines and concealer lines that are very inclusive. Like the Fit Me line from Maybelline is super inclusive and has tons of shades, and then the L'Oreal True Match line, like the original foundation, which sucks, has so many shades. Like they do different undertones, like they got different categories for neutral, warm, cool undertones, but then every other foundation in each of their lines is completely different. So I don't know why they don't coincide with their most inclusive range. Like that just, it blows my mind. Like you would think they're like a startup, like mom and pop company. Like it's ridiculous. So in this one, I'm in the shade, or I bought the shade 010, 010. And in the L'Oreal Tinted Serum, I have the shade Very Light. So yeah, this one says it delivers an amazing fresh look with adjustable natural coverage. Its key ingredients are jojoba and marula oil, like I said earlier. And then it just kind of starts talking about the packaging and how it's recyclable and stuff. So yeah, like that's the whole spiel with the green edition, but I mean, it's just kind of a gimmick. I do want to point out the instructions for how to use each of these are different. This one puts me more in mind of the Cover FX custom enhancer drops. Is that what they're called? This is very similar. It says for sheer coverage 1 drop, for light coverage 3 drops, and for medium coverage 5 drops. So I'm guessing that medium coverage is like the most you can get from this, or that's what it's claiming anyway. But I'm properly prepped and ready to go. I've got my skincare products on, and everything I'm wearing right now, and also everything I'll be wearing later on, like once I have a full face, will be listed below in the description box with like a full breakdown. Let's just kind of get up close and show you what I have to work with right now. I don't really have a lot of active breakouts or anything, just kind of recovering blemishes. I have a little spot back here to cover up, not a really big deal. It's kind of more concealed back there, and my forehead is slightly uneven. So yeah, I have like mildly oily skin. It's kind of more like normal oily, and yeah. But we're gonna start off with the L'Oreal Tinted Serum on this side. I'm gonna use the same brush for each one. I'm just gonna wipe it off in between. I'm gonna use the Beauty Junkies Duo Fiber Large Stippling Brush from Amazon. This will be linked below as well. I'm not sure why I self-tanned last night knowing that I have 2 lighter foundations to use today. We don't know how my brain works. So the best way that I've found to apply the L'Oreal Tinted Serum is to apply it all over my face and really focus it like this little spot down here that I have on my jawline. I'm gonna put a little dot there and just kind of let the pigmentation soak into the skin. And I find that I get the best coverage doing this. So yeah, I'm just gonna get some product on my brush just so we got a little bit of residue there. So I kind of just take turns stippling and swiping. But with stippling brushes, you will get the most coverage if you stipple. All right, so there's what one layer looks like. God, I look pasty as hell. Even though it's a hyaluronic acid, like moisturizing type foundation, it's actually more on the matte side, but not too matte. Like I would say like a natural matte finish. I mean, it sits on the pores really nicely. If you have a spot that you want to cover up more, just go in and stipple it and like it actually builds up really well. Like it stays looking very skin-like and very natural, but you can build up the coverage surprisingly. I think that with thin, like liquidy, watery foundations like this, if you want the most coverage, you need to let each layer dry for like at least like 5 minutes or so before you go into a second layer. So that's what I do with this to get more coverage out of it. All right, so I'm gonna take my little switch. I get these from TJ Maxx. This is the Beauty Concepts Blank Slate Brush Color Swap Pad. These are the same thing as the Veramona one. Don't spend extra money on that one. All right, so this one has a medicine dropper as well, as you can see. And I will say that 010 in this foundation is a lot more of a good match. Like this one is like a good like neutral. Okay, so I've sat here for a couple minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and go in and do the exact same thing. I'm gonna apply it and stipple it out the exact same way. I think I may have used too much product because I'm kind of having a hard time pushing that in. Oh shoot, I forgot to do the like customize your coverage with how many drops you use. I didn't count the drops. Oh, it may have been too much. We're getting streakage. You know what? We're gonna start all over. I'm gonna take this off. All right, so I took everything off just like on my cheek area. I'm leaving what's on my forehead. We're just gonna let that sit there and judge. I don't care. But I did apply some more sunscreen and kind of touch that up. So yes, repeat. Here's the thing with the whole 1 drop, 3 drop, 5 drop. This will not cover my freaking nose. Like you just kind of inevitably have to use more than like 1 drop or probably even 3 drops to cover your entire face. So there's what 1 drop covers. That ain't gonna cover up crap. But for the sake of the argument, I'm gonna try to make it work. It actually did spread out over my entire cheek area. I didn't expect that. So it is pretty thin and pretty spreadable. So I stand corrected. Hey, wait a minute. Why is this looking dry and like weird? Doing this weird separation thing up here on my forehead. Oh, you know what? So it looks like it's doing this weird separation thing, like right in the center of my forehead where the L'Oreal one meets up with it. And the L'Oreal one is a water base and this is an oil base. So oil and water do not mix. Therefore, this is going to happen. Okay, we're just gonna go into a sponge afterwards. It's fine, it's fine. So there's what 1 drop, literally 1 drop looks like on this side of my face. I mean, you can still see my spots and stuff underneath. It just kind of gave you a very light evening effect, or I say you, it gave me a light evening effect. But yeah, 1 drop is not gonna cut it. I'm gonna take my dry sponge and just kind of bounce out the line demarcation up here where it's separating. But it's still like, it's sitting on blemishes, like scabby textured blemishes in a really unflattering way. Like it looks really patchy. Let's turn my ISO or my lights down a little bit. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but it looks really just dry and just like, you can see the scabbage. Okay, so I'm gonna go into okay, you know what? No, let's do 1, 2, 3. It says 3 for light coverage. I'm not about that life. 4, 5. So as far as the texture and stuff goes, this one is definitely more liquidy and more runny than the L'Oreal one. The L'Oreal one has a little bit of a thickness to it, like it's a little bit more viscous. So yeah, it just looks really patchy and flaky on my nose. Like it makes my nose look super dry, which it's not. And it's just not sitting like the most flattering on my skin right now. Like it just looks kind of cakey and streaky. Keep in mind that oil-based foundations like this are gonna be hard to make work, especially if you have water-based products like skincare and stuff on underneath, which I feel like the majority of us use water-based products, especially moisturizers and sunscreens. So it may work better if I had an oil like directly underneath this, like, or maybe like a primer oil or something. I'm just gonna go into my dry sponge. I'm just gonna wet it a little bit with some setting spray because I feel like if I wet it completely, like with water, it's gonna just soak everything up. But this is working fairly well. Like I still see some patchiness on here, so I don't know about it, guys. Okay, I'm done. I think I'm done. I'm just gonna call it quits. So yeah, there's what the Maybelline side looks like and the L'Oreal side. So we definitely have more coverage on the L'Oreal side, but I mean, honestly, coverage-wise, it looks about the same. I wouldn't trust either one of these whenever I have a lot of breakouts and I need like a good amount of coverage. We're just gonna go in and see if we can build up the coverage a little bit. Like I'm just gonna dot this on the spots that I see, and let's just kind of stipple this on. Ooh, okay. See, like whenever you let the first layer dry, like that's the game changer. Okay, oh God. Now the L'Oreal side's getting patchy. Damn. Okay, lights are down so you can hopefully see like right along through here. I don't know What is happening today? It's emphasizing my pores. It's not looking very good in my T-zone at all. Like, it looks fine from like my cheek out, but like my T-zone and the center of my face is not looking good on either side. And honestly, the Maybelline side looks better, like around my cheeks. Like my pores are just, they're pretty much gone. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face, and I'll come back and show you guys what everything looks like. Hopefully, by the time I put setting spray and stuff on, and I just keep blending and stuff, it kind of corrects itself, but I'm not feeling very confident about it at this point. So let's do a little wear test. Check-in time, it's 12:34 right now. So yeah, we'll say 12:30 for our check-in time just to make a good even number. But yeah, I'll be right back to show you guys what the rest of my face looks like. Okay, it's now 12:55. Everything looks okay now. Like, it looks decent enough, but let me tell you, the process was not fun. This was not easy to work with at all. Like, I had to apply like 3 different setting sprays throughout the entire process, and I had to blend a lot. And once I have everything on, and I did extra blending and stuff, and then with the setting spray, and also going in like after I apply my setting spray and tapping it with my finger, like just tapping around like my under eyes and then also my T-zone and stuff where I was seeing that flakage and dryness, that did help quite a bit. So here's what it looks like up close and with my ISO and my lights turned down. I didn't use any powders. Like, there is seriously, like, I think I used powder highlighter on top of my cream highlighter, but everything else, like cheek products wise, it's all creams, it's all liquids, and then there's no setting powder whatsoever. So yeah, here's a L'Oreal side, and then here is the Maybelline side. I mean, they look, honestly, they look really similar. As far as how they set down, like both sides feel like I've set them with powder, but I mean, they look the exact same, they feel the exact same. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna try to conclude the video with a screaming child in the background, so just bear with me if you hear. It's now 10:15, or it's about to be 10:15 at night, so we got to, like, we'll make it to 10 hours by the time we get done with the video. So here's what it looks like on the L'Oreal side, and then here is the Maybelline side. They look almost identical on the skin. I will say I do think the L'Oreal foundation is a tad bit more long wearing. I see that in the cheek products, like they just are more opaque, like there's more intensity left over than on the Maybelline side. Like, I see a lot of fading and stuff back here, but I mean, it's not a dramatic difference. So like, I'm still saying that these are similar in how they wear too. I was looking up close and I was thinking, oh, you know, the L'Oreal foundation looks better, but then I see like random little dry, flaky, cakey patches, just sporadically across my face on this side. Then I look on this side too, and not in the exact same areas, but just like, again, sporadically, there's just these weird cakey dry patches that weren't there without makeup on. My nose looks pretty hellacious. It looks like snake skin, so that's always fun. But overall, like, I just look more matte on this side, which I didn't expect. My chin doesn't look bad. My forehead doesn't look as bad as it did earlier, but like in between my eyebrows still doesn't look the best. Like, I've seen way better. As far as how they feel, they both feel very, very lightweight. Like, to the touch, these feel like the exact same foundation. Like, literally no difference whatsoever. And honestly, until about 6 o'clock, it actually looked pretty good. Despite the issues that I have with application and stuff, like, my skin was looking really pretty and radiant and dewy and just very energized. It looked very bright. And now, like, both sides just look very sallow, very dull, just kind of lifeless and matte. But if you're having a hard time deciding which one, I do think that the L'Oreal one is a better bet. Like, I think that just the fact that it's a water-based foundation, it'll be more friendly with your skincare products and like your primers and stuff versus the oil-based foundation where, you know, it may work, it may not, it may clash and argue with your products, and it may be just fine. Honestly, I'm just not super happy with either one. It's so weird because I used to love this stuff. I was raving about it. Like, I thought it was literally the best thing I tried. Like, it was the best thing since jelly beans. Then it just seemed like every time after that, I didn't have a consistent experience. So because of that, because for me and my skin and the fact that it's just kind of fickle, I'm just gonna have to say that it's not one that I like fully, like, hardcore stamp my approval on. Maybe it's just my skin changing. I don't know. So that is it for this drugstore foundation comparison. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and turn the notification bell on to always see my stuff. And check out some more videos over here. Like I said, here's the playlist for product comparison. So yeah, venture around the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.